Not
I can
only
get away with it.
have they fucked up Eglinton, okay, for the last 12 years with this crosstown LRT nonsense that somehow still isn't open because the trains don't match the size of the tracks, okay? But that aside, they made bike lanes everywhere on Eglinton. So, like, you couldn't move because of all the cones of traffic. And then on top of the traffic
Listen,
cones, you got
find a
bike lanes
helicopter,
getting
okay? My whole
fortified.
job, Daryl, is to
Yeah.
disagree with you. That is
Yes,
basically the premise of this show
that's
is
right.
prove Daryl wrong. So
And how
let's
many
talk about the
times has
bike
that
lanes,
happened?
buddy. Let's talk
Oh,
about the bike
oh,
lanes
right. Yes, I saw
because
this article.
I'm
This is
telling you,
genius. Oh, the
listen, I'm telling
fucking
you,
moron
those
that
bike
wrote
lanes,
this.
they will reduce traffic because more people will use them.
This is how it is. Can you fucking believe this article? What was the headline? What was it called? Where is it? Where the
Here's
hell
what
is
the
this
research
shit?
says. Do bike lanes cause more traffic congestion?
That's right.
Yeah.
Do bike lanes really cause more traffic congestion? Here's what
They've
the
they've done research,
research.
Daryl. They've done
Fucking
research
this
before.
this is such woke planted bullshit like I've
No
never
way.
seen in my life. Well, if you include what's the word they made up here? What is it? Some kind of bullshit induced. What is it? You're right. Slightly. What is
Induced
this?
demand.
Induced demand, right? What
Yeah.
is it? It's induced something called induced demand. Thanks to something called induced demand. So they've induced demand for what? More fucking traffic because they cut out one of the
Yeah.
lanes?
They go, there's lots of
It's like an
there were
induction with
studies. I'm pretty sure it
babies.
was in Seattle. Don't get Seattle. It's in that part of the states, that northwestern part. Pretty sure
Can
it's
we
Seattle,
can Kip cross
where
borders, TK?
where they reduced, they got rid of some of their highways.
Highway.
They
Okay.
got rid of highways. They
I can
said
see where
traffic
you're
is
going here.
crazy. They got rid of highways to reduce traffic.
Sounds ingenious.
And so everyone said, hey, there's less highways now out there, guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the bus. I'm going to ride my bike. And
They did
all of a sudden, their traffic had, I don't know. I'm not sure what happened.
tripled.
But they bought I don't know what happened, but apparently they had less traffic and it was the right move and they never went back to adding those highways. So listen,
This sounds
traffic
counterintuitive to me.
traffic is based off of what people perceive as being available to them. I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm just giving you the other side.
This is
The
so
other
fucking
side is
dumb.
by having bike lanes, it makes people feel safe and that they want to go out and use bike lanes.
And
Now,
use
I
bike
don't want
lanes.
bike lanes on any of the roads that I'm driving on.
Oh
Okay. But
God.
we have to understand that bike lanes could, in fact, create an opportunity for people to ride their bikes, not drive their car.
I'm sitting in my car the other day and I'm at an intersection, and through the intersection on one of those like e-scooter things, like they're powered but you stand up on them, you know, our kids used to like, they're
Sure.
like a skateboard used to
But
be
now it's power. They got lazy.
powered, and those things are ripping and they're in the bike lane, and I'm like, is this it's like a motorcycle going in the bike lane? And are bike lanes for motorcycles now? Are they for powered vehicles, the bike lanes now?
I
Or
think they should
have
be.
the are the lines just so blurred now that you could do whatever you want in them? I'm
Identify as a pedal bike.
Do you have listen,
I identify as a pedestrian and I'm going to ride my dirt bike on the sidewalk.
TK. Not
I can get away
only
with it.
have they fucked up Eglinton, okay, for the last 12 years with this crosstown LRT nonsense that somehow still isn't open because the trains don't match the size of the tracks, okay? But that aside, on top of that fucking horseshit, they made bike lanes everywhere on Eglinton. So like you couldn't
Uh,
move because of all the cones of traffic. And then on top of the traffic
Listen,
cones, you got
find a
bike lanes
helicopter,
getting
okay? So here's a
crazy.
funny part here. So in Copenhagen, right, they had this huge amount of bike lanes created in 2007 that everyone started using the bike lanes and that it, reduced traffic like immensely and everyone was just like, yay for bike lanes. But then there was bicycle congestion, so they had to add
Right.
more bike corridors. Oh
What
my
the
gosh.
hell? There must have
You
been
know,
some kind of
so
incentive.
there's a limit to the bike safety and traffic reduction. So we got to make sure we don't add too many bike lanes. Okay, guys.
This is
Just a
so
few here and there.
crazy. And like on top of it, most people aren't developers, so they don't realize like I'm fighting for space in these buildings, because of bike spaces and bicycle repair station space. Okay.
Yeah.
And listen, do people need places to put their bikes? Technically, yes.
Hmm.
I think most people use the balconies for that. That's a whole other discussion, TK.
Yeah.
But of course, people need places to put their bikes. Do they need to be dedicated and forced by the city officials? Or should this just be something you do in order to attract maybe a particular type of clientele? Or maybe it's a feature that sets you apart from other places and you think this is a great use of space. Or perhaps, TK, you could use the space for something that will be used by people and not just forced to do it, because this is fucking nuts. We got to lose half of our driving lanes. TK, there are people that will not have the sufficient locker space that they require, or they will not have enough parking, TK, or maybe there won't be enough room for the waste removal facilities, or possibly, like, there's so many things that could go wrong because of this, but they don't care. They just want to make sure that there's 17 bikes to every person in the building.
I'm sure it's not that many. And I'm sure that whatever costs you'll incur for adding a bike repair station and some additional
Oh, I'm passing those on, TK.
bike
I'm passing
parking
those on.
bike
And this is
parking
why we
spots,
can't have affordable housing,
you'll do fine. You'll do just fine.
TK. But it's things like this. But I'm not kidding. Like, if you look at a building, mine's 24 units. Okay. So I only have to have 72 bike spaces in my building. But imagine if I was building 450 units. Like, there must be bikes hanging from everywhere, TK, with the requirements.
So the last one
So
I sold
you don't,
recently.
but you don't need any, zero. You can build a 400 unit building with zero car parking,
Yeah.
but you need to have 8,000 bicycle
So
spots.
I
Okay.
just saw one at Young and Eglinton, and the parking spot has the bike rack in it. And so your parking spot, inside your parking spot, you just have your bike and you kind of like walk it up the wall. So like both wheels are touching the wall and you
What
lock it
if you
in
don't
and
have
there's
a
a little lock.
space? What if you couldn't afford a space?
Well, I guess you don't get a bike spot either. I don't know.
Oh, but the way it
But if you
works
have a
is
parking
you
spot, you
do. You
also have a
get
bike.
eight. You get eight. If you live in
Well,
the building, you have eight
you
bicycle
can
spots
chain
with
them
your
all
name on
together.
them.
And so now you got 16 if you want.
See, this is where all the shared bicycle, like the what's it called? The bike share things, they should
Yeah.
be in the buildings using up all the empty spaces from all the forced bicycle parking that they force on the developers that don't get used. I should do a whole series on this and just go check the bicycle parking spaces in downtown
So if
Toronto.
you go and look at most condos, bicycle places, and you look at those bikes,
Yeah.
they've been there for years.
It's the same guy, right? He
It's
died.
it's
He
it's
died. He
like
left
the
it
bike.
there.
They're dusty, they're dirty, they're old, crappy bikes. You're just like, what is this? This is like a
Why is
bicycle
this here?
graveyard. What's going on here? So that's why it's better to have individual spots at your parking spot so that everybody's got um the spot that they that whose bike it is, right?
I can't
Telling you,
believe how much time and effort we even have to put into bikes on this
bikes at
show.
all. Yeah.
But it's
But
crazy.
biking's good. So first of all, let's go pro
Biking is
cycling here for
good.
a bit.
Pro
Cycling is good
cycling.
for your knees. It's better than running.
Is it?
It's it's a great endurance sport where you can get a lot of aerobic fitness out of it, and you can go on long journeys. It's a lot of fun. You can see a lot of places as you ride around. You spend an hour on a bike, you get to see a lot of scenery and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. If you're listening to the show and you haven't been on a bike for a little while, then give it a shot. Just like stay off of the busy streets like Danforth and Bloor and Eglinton and all those places. Like that's not where bikes belong. Go down in the
No.
woods, go down in the trails,
Right?
drive your bike up north and drive around in cottage country.
Like
Those
we
are the places that
literally
you should ride a bike.
we added bike lanes for all the dicks carrying packages around on bikes. Because who
Yeah.
else is riding bikes around downtown during the day, for fuck's sakes?
You know what? If
Like,
those
are
guys are
people
bringing
just
me a
riding
package,
around?
a package or food, then I wouldn't call them dicks. I'd say, kudos to you for
Kudos to you for getting a bike
braving
lane.
the traffic
The
and getting me
frontier,
my
being on the
Uber
front
Eats.
lines.
Like
You did
you're my
it.
buddy. I hope no one steals your bike while it's downstairs and you're delivering my food upstairs.
I think you deserve to lose your bike if you fought for these goddamn bike
I don't
lanes, because you
approve.
ruined everything.
I don't approve of this message.
TK does not approve of this message.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our clips channel. Why don't you go and check out some more clips? We got lots of other good content somewhere over here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Boom.
That was good.
That was good. I like that. That was good.